Hey, I'm Neverlag, and I've got 10 more demos for you guys that I really enjoyed. I might even have a few extra. Who knows? Let's get to it. To kick things off, and quite frankly, get this one out of the way because I think it's one we are all aware of, we're all looking forward to, that is Replaced. This game was announced years ago, disappeared, multiple delays, and here we are. We finally have a release date, April 16th, which is very, very soon. So we're going to find out. Is Replaced a video game? And actually, you know what? We're going to find out today because I can tell you, I played the demo. And obviously, the question was never, does this game look fantastic? It looks incredible. What they've done with this HD 2D art style in a side scroller is nothing short of amazing. The question always was, how is this game going to actually play? Is it going to feel good to play as a video game? And I'm here to tell you, yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good, I think. There are still some questions coming out of the demo, but some answers that I do have are that it reminds me a lot of Inside. It has light puzzle sections and light stealth sections, and then the combat very much pulling from the Arkham series. For better or worse, I would say. It's kind of hard to say at this point. Obviously, the Arkham series combat is great in its own right, but now we're pulling it from 3D to 2D, and the question kind of is, does losing that third dimension to navigate around within make the combat overly simple? I'm not ready to say that yet. It is a concern of mine, but you do have that rock, paper, scissors element where you're performing your attacks, and then when enemies around you give you a cue that they're about to attack you, you perform a counter. And sometimes they will do a red attack, which can't be normal countered. You have to perform a pistol takedown. And it's just enough to keep everything interesting, I would say, in combat. But really, again, it's the visuals and the animations that are just doing a lot of heavy lifting here. The animations are freaking cool in this game. When you land that perfect counter or get that takedown with your pistol, oh, it's just so satisfying. It looks and feels so cool to do. So, honestly, I would say even if the combat goes on to be a little overly simplistic in the full game, I think that the visuals and the animations are doing enough that I think this is going to be a good game. You've got great world building, great immersion. I love when you pull out your little cassette device for your menu and just the tactile feel of that, the way it looks. This game is doing a lot right. And I guess after the demo, I'm willing to say I don't think this is going to be a bad game, which is great because when a game kind of has the development cycle we've seen, you start to wonder, is this going to be a video game? Is it going to be good at all? And I do think it is going to be a good game. So we're going to find out real soon. Game number 2, we have Morbid Metal. And say it with me, this is a roguelite. But the elevator pitch for this one is DMC combat, warframe movement, and a gacha Wuthering Waves Genshin style character swapping mechanic where you can seamlessly swap between your characters and mid combo and use them for different situations or different enemies. You may have one character that's much better at taking out enemies in the air and a different character that's much better at taking out shielded enemies. And it's flashy. It's fun. It's very fast-paced. I will say it looks and runs incredible. It's punching well above its weight, in my opinion. And yeah, it's just kind of taking these different things and mashing them together. But I gotta say, it's got the sauce. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I wanted to keep playing this game, and so whatever they're doing here is working. And then visually, just the design of the creatures and the world, it all works for me. I think it's really cool. So. If you're looking at this and you think it looks really cool, it's probably going to be really cool. Game number 3, we have Lelu, and I gotta say, some of these recent demos are forcing me to reevaluate my stance on this monochromatic art style that I would typically say is not something I thought I was into, but maybe I'm wrong because I think that despite its simplistic visual design, this game looks fantastic. You can just tell that there was a lot of care and craft that went into making it look the way that it does, with kind of almost that CRT effect, and it's just it just looks so good. It doesn't look cheap at all. It looks very polished. But anyways, beyond that, Lelu is best described as a classic Zelda type game. It's top down. You're exploring these dungeon-like environments, unlocking new abilities to help you get through the dungeon or unlock new areas, and all the while performing and figuring out various puzzles and performing light combat. And it just works really well. This game feels, like I said, really well made, really polished. Once I started it, I didn't want to put it down. And so if you like what you see and you like that classic Zelda formula, that's Lelu. And that's really hard to say, by the way. For game number 4, I wanted to mention People of Note. This was a bit of a mixed bag for me, but it had some really cool elements, and I guess I'm just hoping that it will come together at launch, which is doubtful because launch is April 7th, but maybe even post-launch. This is one I would keep my eyes on if it were to be supported well and get some post-launch updates. But it does have some cool things. Like, it's basically a turn-based RPG that is heavily themed around music. As you can see, your main character, Cadence, is this pop singer, and early on she meets up with this dude named Fret that is a hardcore guitar rock kind of guy. And they're trying to figure out how to mesh to defeat whatever footloose situation's going on in this town. I can't remember. The writing is pretty whatever. There's some cutscenes that are really corny. The sound design, ironically, for a music game needs some help. But visually and artistically, I just think this game is really, really kind of cool and doing some unique things. It kind of, in certain ways, is giving me Expedition 33 vibes, which is almost sacrilegious to say. But just in the way that the environments navigate and the way they kind of look like dioramas with fixed cameras that you're walking around in. And yeah, I think there are some cool elements here. I hope it can come together to be something to reach its full potential, I guess. But I don't know. Well, I guess we'll find out pretty soon here. For game number 5, we have Grime II, which is the sequel to Grime, which I did play, and is a very underrated Metroidvania, I might add, so check that out. But the sequel does come out very soon, and I gotta say, it's looking pretty good. I played this demo for about an hour, and I was just right back in it. I just wanted to continue through and play the full game. They're cooking with this thing. So for those who don't know what Grime is, it's one of the more soulsy Metroidvanias. You've got your bonfires where you can rest, reset enemies, put skill points into strength or dex or health. You've got weapons that scale with strength or dex, and you can kind of create your builds that way. The combat is very Souls-like, where you've got certain moves that need to be parried, certain moves that need to be... Actually, it's less Souls-like and more Sekiro-like, to be honest. Certain moves need to be dodged through. And then there's that third element that I think of as similar to like a Mikiri counter in Sekiro, where an enemy will do a move that pulses yellow, and you have to use the right stick to force push or pull them away and stagger them. And it's that rock, paper, scissors of dodge, parry, force pull that really creates an engaging combat system for me that I loved in the first game, and it's back here. They've added more elements to it, I'm sure, that we'll find in the full game, but just here in the demo, there was this thing where you could defeat an enemy in a certain way and basically capture like their spirit ashes or an echo of them that is a one-time use. And then you can choose when to use that in combat as kind of like an extra ultimate move, and then it's gone. And then you can get another one from the next enemy. And it just kind of adds this new 4th or 5th layer to the combat that was already good without making it cumbersome. I thought it was a great addition. The demo ended with this first boss here that was just honestly a visual spectacle. Such a cool design. They are just crushing it coming out the gate with the design of this world and the creatures. And this boss was a blast to fight. It looks so cool. The world is so... it's so grimy. It really is. It's kind of gross looking. It's very earthen and primal. And I don't know. The one thing you can't say about Grime is that it's not unique. So there you have it. That was Grime 2. I had a blast with it. I cannot wait to play this game when it comes out. And honestly, more people need to play Grime. For game number 6, we have Denshattack. And this game is just about as weird as its name. I feel like we're getting a bit of a resurgence for this early phone-type auto-runner game that is making its way into the PC world. And it's very arcade. It reminds me of something that you would play at like a Dave & Buster's. But in the best way. It's a pick up and play. You play a few levels, have a blast. It's hard to argue with the fun factor of these games. And we had something similar last year with Haste, which was also excellent. Just had an absolute blast with Haste. And it's no different here. This is clearly way more bombastic. Some of the vibes and music remind me of something like Persona, or at times even Ollie Ollie World, which I guess works because you are a skateboarding bus, naturally. And so yeah, you go into these levels, you are trying to, switch from track to track, make sure you don't crash, find your way through these levels, do tricks while you're in the air to gain points, naturally, find secret collectibles throughout the level, and then when you go through turns, you're trying to perfectly boost, which is a timed input, and that helps you maintain your speed, which is important because you're also trying to complete the level as fast as you can. And so each level amounts to trying to get the best time, get all the collectibles, and then move on to the next level. And it's just good. It's just a lot of fun. It's got a ton of personality, and I think that Denshattack just might be my Haste for 2026. Game number 7 is Whisk. This is a precision co-op speedrunning type game where you and your partner have to work to get this cat in an orb to the end of the level without breaking it and doing it as fast as you can. And your mileage may vary. The people I played this game with might tell you they didn't like it. I thought it was cool. I actually enjoyed the mechanics. I found them endearing, if not a little weird at first. The first-person nature of everything does add some awkwardness, but I don't know. I kind of enjoyed it. I kind of fell into a groove with this game, and there are different mechanics. One character can double jump, the other character has like a double dash, and so each character can reach certain areas better. It's up to you to determine who can get where better, and then you also have the mechanics where you can assist each other by boosting each other up or pulling each other up. If you're on top of a ledge, you can kind of throw the other person as well, and all of it is a little awkward in first person, but I don't know, this game was doing something. I kind of liked it. It felt very unique. You've got these sonic rings that you have to throw the cat through. Play a little game of toss and catch here, and I don't know, it was kind of addictive to me. It was very weird, very bizarre, but getting through it perfectly with another person, getting that golden time, because depending on how fast you are, you're going to get a bronze, a silver, or a gold time. So perfecting these levels, naturally has an addictive nature to it, and it was just unique enough that I had fun with this. So if you want to test your relationship, this is one of those games. And if you also like weird stuff, if you're into weird stuff, check out Whisk. Moving on to game number 8, we have Calx, which is yet another video game with a name that is near impossible to pronounce. I don't know why we need to be naming things Calx, C-A-L-X, but here we are. And this game caught my eye, which is kind of noteworthy because it's very reminiscent of Sable, a game from many years back that I did not vibe with that art style. And here, this is very similar to Sable, I would say. But it's working for me. And maybe it's just because I like the gameplay more. I don't know. But it's much more fast-paced. It reminds me of something like maybe Returnal or Nier Automata, especially with the boss fights here and kind of this 3D bullet hell situation. Apart from that, you are just exploring this alien planet. You're scanning things similar to a Metroid Prime. And I would say all in all throughout this demo, it didn't really do anything special per se, but the biggest thing to me was just the world. The world felt so alien and so interesting to look at. Exploring it really was kind of what moved me forward, and everything else was, I would say, solid at the very least. So if you like what you see, this one comes out June 4th for pretty much every platform. Now, if you've never played a roguelite in your life, oh, I've got something for you, because game number 9 is Minos. This is a maze-building roguelite where you play as the Minotaur, and you are the hunted. These gladiators are coming to hunt you down in your very own maze, a maze of your construction. You are going in with your equipment, different upgrades that you can accrue throughout a run, and with those you will have a prep phase and an action phase. And during the prep phase, you are essentially setting the walls, building walls, taking walls down, trying to divert these hunters into specific paths where you will hopefully have set up traps that they will fall into. You're going to put buzzsaws everywhere, you're going to put flames and trapdoors. You're really going full Home Alone here and just prepping for this action phase. And you want to make sure that you put a good amount of thought into it, because weirdly enough, the Minotaur is not that powerful. You don't want to be doing combat with him, because he will die fairly easily, which is fair. He's being attacked by gladiators with spears and things. I don't know. But really the name of the game is the strategy of setting things up beforehand. And I just thought it was a really interesting concept. It kind of flips this on its head. You are being hunted, and it's your job to prepare. And I'm curious to see where this concept goes, how it gets more complicated or more difficult as you progress into a run. And I also just really like the art style here. I feel like they really killed it with how everything looks visually. It's got that heavy stylized cel-shaded Borderlands look to it, and just a really unique concept that I want to see how the full game turns out. For our 10th and final official game on this list, we have Phonopolis. This is a point-to-click adventure puzzle game that has this really, really cool hand-drawn cardboard art style, and it takes place in a world with an omnipresent voice called the Absolute Tone that is controlling everyone in the city, and it's up to you, the humble protagonist, to put on your headphones and drown out the voice, act of your own accord, and make your own decisions as a true rebel. And which is a cool premise. It's a cool premise for the game, and what really stood out to me, apart from the art style, which is incredible, for the gameplay, I've played point-to-click games in the past. I enjoy them to varying degrees, but I often find them to be a little reductive in that you're just kind of moving a character from here to there, picking up objects and combining those objects with environmental puzzle cues, and it's just, I don't know, it's just not that interesting at the end of the day. What I like about this is that you are acting more as a third-party entity that can manipulate things outside of the character and help him get around. And it's just, it leads to much more interesting puzzles, I think, where, for example, here you're moving the different floors around of this home, creating different situations that cause the mechanic to move around the house so that you can avoid the maid who will constantly kick you out. Or you're trying to bring the tenant out here. Like if you move the homes like this, now she has a patio. She comes out, she's sunbathing. And then if you manipulate it further, you can get a sprinkler to start spraying water on her, at which point you can make her fall down to the bottom floor and distract the mechanic. And all of this is just very mechanically interesting from a puzzle standpoint, far more than most point-to-click games that I've played. So really enjoying the premise of this world, the world building. The art style, like I said, is just so cool to look at, and I really, really enjoy the act of actually manipulating things in the world so that your little guy can get around and avoid the authorities and do whatever he's got to do. So really looking forward to this. If you like puzzle games, if you like point-to-click games, put this on your radar for sure. So there you have it. That was 10 more games that I really enjoyed playing the demo for during the Steam Next Fest. A lot of these are coming out, pretty much, I think all of these are coming out this year, and many of them are coming out in the next month or two. So things to look forward to. And to round out this video, since I do not intend on making another one of these, but I felt there were just a few more maybe worth shouting out, I'll end this with a couple quick hitters. This is Gear Grit, another very difficult name to pronounce, but it's paying homage to the Jak and Daxter series, so if you want one of those, then check this out. Croak is a level-based precision platformer with very unique movement mechanics that were satisfying to master. Solateria is a very cool Metroidvania that is in the Hollow Knight vein, but it has parry mechanics, and I found the combat to be really fun. Ardenfall is a first-person RPG with a very simple art style in the vein of Skyrim. Chasm Shift is Rainworld meets Super Meat Boy. It's all about precise platforming and an interconnected world. Far Far West is a first-person wacky co-op extraction game similar to something like Deep Rock Galactic. Lyara is another 2D precision platformer that looks cute but unironically had one of the most difficult 2D bosses that I've ever experienced. SurfPunk is a top-down co-op extraction game where you go in, try and extract as many resources as you can from these islands, and then try and surf back to home base before the tsunami consumes you. Hark the Ghoul is a first-person dungeon crawler RPG, very old school looking, looks like it came out on the NES in all the best ways. Voidling Bound is a creature collection game where you hatch creatures, you evolve them, and then you take them out to fight. And I'm sad to say this one kind of lacks the sauce currently, but the premise is so good that I really hope they're able to turn it into something a little bit more compelling by the time that it launches. And finally, we have Bounty Brawl, Most Wanted. This is an isometric co-op roguelite, very arcade, really good mechanics, and this was just a lot of fun. Really cool art style as well. And there you have it. That was all the demos. All the demos in the entire world. I played them, I told you about them, and now I need no more demos. No more demos for a very long time, perhaps forever, or at least until the next Steam Next Fest when I inevitably do this to myself all over again. So hopefully you enjoyed this. Hopefully you found something here that was new that you're interested in. If you did, drop me a like. Feel free to come back for the next video, and I'm going to go pass out.